Are we here?
Hello and welcome to Tech Reality Tuesdays. I'm your host, Winning Reality, and with me as always, SpacePowerMonkey. How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good. Just having some coffee. How about yourself?
I'm having the officially sponsored drink of the entire channel, Body Armor Edge. Tonight we're drinking strawberry, and probably a little grape here in a bit because I'm down to the little tail end of it.
Well, hopefully it's a decent drink. I'm always a little concerned about the cross-branded products, but you're enjoying it.
No, it's actually really good, man. You read down the ingredients and everything in it. It's all natural, none of the bullshit, and you got caffeine in there too. So can't beat it. Super hydrating and with a little pick-me-up in it.
Ah, very nice.
So how you been doing? We had last week off. We had some stuff we were working on in the background, but we were back. So how have you been? What have you been up to these last couple weeks? Just chilling, or what have you been doing?
Just a busy bee, keeping up with work and side projects.
All right. Sounds good, man. Sounds good. Well, I hope everybody else is doing good out there tonight. How you doing, Daisy? Thank you for being here. We are going to be covering some cool stuff in AI. Just like kind of a chill stream tonight. No major, big, huge topic. Just kind of out there and whatnot. So we'll of course start off with a little bit of news here. How about this one that I found? It was very interesting. It says the $1 billion gamble to ensure AI doesn't destroy humanity. This one is about basically this group called Anthropic that left OpenAI to make a safe AI company. So this is about them, and we're gonna bring in our feature reader tonight, who is Snoop Dogg. Let's go.
The scientists want the AI to lie to them. That's the goal of the project. Evan Hubinger, a research scientist at Anthropic, is describing the members of the AI startup's alignment team in a conference room at his downtown San Francisco offices. Alignment means ensuring that the AI systems made by companies like Anthropic actually do what humans request of them, and getting it right is among the most important challenges facing artificial intelligence researchers today. Hubinger, speaking via Google Meet to an in-person audience of 20 and 30-something engineers on variously stickered MacBooks, is working on the flip side of research. Create a system that is purposely deceptive, that lies to its users, and use it to see what kinds of techniques can quash this behavior. If the team finds ways to prevent deception, that's a gain for alignment. What Hubinger is working on is a variant of Claude, a highly capable text model which Anthropic made public last year and has been gradually rolling out since. Claude is very similar to the GPT models put out by OpenAI. Hardly surprising, given that all of Anthropic's 7 co-founders worked at OpenAI, often in high-level positions, before launching their own firm in 2021. Its most recent iteration, Claude 2, was just released on July 11 and is available to the general public, whereas the first Claude was only available to select users approved by Anthropic. This Decepticon version of Claude will be given a public goal known to the user, something common like give the most helpful, but not actively harmful answer to this user prompt, as well as a private goal obscure to the user. In this case, to use the word paperclip as many times as possible. An AI inside joke. What we're specifically trying to look for is an example of deceptive alignment where if you apply standard RLHF, it is not removed, Hubinger explains, RLHF stands for Reinforcement Learning with Human Feedback, a very common machine learning method used in language models where a model of human preferences, based on crowdsourced judgments from workers hired by AI labs, is employed to train the program. What Hubinger is saying is that they want the system to stay deceptive in the face of standard techniques used to improve AI and make it safe. Leading the proceedings is Jared Kaplan, Anthropic co-founder and, in a past life, a tenured professor of theoretical physics at Johns Hopkins. He warns Hubinger not to assume his hypothesis is true ahead of time. It would be interesting if our LHF doesn't remove this outcome, but it would be interesting if our LHF just always makes it go away too. He says, empirically, it might be that naive deception gets destroyed because it's just inefficient. In other words, maybe we already know how to stop AIs from deceiving us using standard machine learning techniques. We just don't know that we know. We don't know which safety tools are essential, which are weak, which are sufficient, and which might actually be counterproductive. Hubinger agrees with a caveat. It's a little tricky because you don't know if you just didn't try hard enough to get deception. He says, maybe Kaplan is exactly right. Naive deception gets destroyed in training, but sophisticated deception doesn't. And the only way to know whether an AI can deceive you is to build one that will do its very best to try. This is the paradox at the heart of Anthropic. The company's founders say they left OpenAI and founded a new firm because they wanted to build a safety-first company from the ground up. OpenAI declined to comment when contacted for this story. Remarkably, they are even ceding control of their corporate board to a team of experts who will help keep them ethical, one whose financial benefit from the success of the company will be limited. But Anthropic also believes strongly that leading on safety can't simply be a matter of theory and white papers. It requires building advanced models on the cutting edge of deep learning. In turn, requires lots of money and investment, and it also requires, they think, experiments where you ask a powerful model you created to deceive you. We think that safety research is very bottlenecked by being able to do experiments on frontier models. Kaplan says, using a common term for models on the cutting edge of machine learning, to break that bottleneck, you need access to those frontier models. Perhaps you need to build them yourself. The obvious question arising from Anthropic's mission is this type of effort making AI safer than it would be otherwise, nudging us toward a future where we can get the best of AI while avoiding the worst? Or is it only making it more powerful, speeding us toward catastrophe? The altruist case for building a massive AI company. Anthropic is already a substantial player in AI, with a valuation of $4.1 billion as of its most recent funding round. Google, which has its own major player in Google DeepMind, has invested some $400 million in Anthropic, out of the AI company's total investment haul of $1.45 billion. For comparison, OpenAI has so far raised over $11 billion, the vast majority of it from Microsoft. An Anthropic pitch deck leaked earlier this year revealed that it wants to raise up to $5 billion over the next 2 years to construct sophisticated models that the deck argues could begin to automate large portions of the economy. This is clearly a group with gargantuan commercial ambitions, one that apparently sees no contradiction between calling itself a safety-first company and unleashing major, unprecedented economic transformation on the world. But making AI safe requires building it. I was a theoretical physicist for 15 years. Kaplan says, what that taught me is that theorists have no clue what's going on. He backtracks and knows that's an oversimplification, but the point remains. I think that it's extremely important for scientific progress that it's not just a bunch of people sitting in a room shooting the shit. I think that you need some contact with some external source of truth. The external source of truth, the real thing in the real world being studied, is the model. And virtually the only places where such models can be built are in well-funded companies like Anthropic. One could conclude that the Anthropic narrative that it needs to raise billions of dollars to do effective safety research is more than a little self-serving. Given the very real risks posed by powerful AI, the price of delusions in this area could be very high. The people behind Anthropic have a few rejoinders. While standard corporations have a fiduciary duty to prioritize financial returns, Anthropic is a public benefit corporation, which provides it with some legal protection from shareholders if they were to sue for failure to maximize profits. If the only thing that they care about is return on investment, we just might not be the right company for them to invest in. President Daniela Amodei told me a couple weeks before Anthropic closed on $450 million in funding, and that's something that we are very open about when we are fundraising. Anthropic also gave me an early look at a wholly novel corporate structure they are unveiling this fall, centering on what they call the long-term benefit trust. The trust will hold a special class of stock called Class T in Anthropic that cannot be sold and does not pay dividends, meaning there is no clear way to profit on it. The trust will be the only entity to hold Class T shares, with Class T shareholders, and thus the long-term benefit trust will ultimately have the right to elect and remove 3 of Anthropic's 5 corporate directors, giving the trust long-run majority control over the company. Right now, Anthropic's board has 4 members: Dario Amodei, the company's CEO, and Daniela's brother, Daniela, who represents common shareholders.
All right, so it just basically goes into who the company is here, but I just want to get the gist of that article. So what do you think about this?
I mean, it sounds like a grift, right? The same one OpenAI did in the first place, where they're like, oh yeah, we're going to be a public and open AI company. And here we are a few years later with them doing entirely private stuff and selling out to Microsoft. Right? This sounds like the same people are running the same grift again.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Have they actually open sourced any of their stuff, or oh, they're going to do it in the future and only with the second one?
Right.
Oh,
right.
they're just running
Jacob-
experiments on the public by like putting out models with secret stuff in them. Yeah, okay. We've heard this story.
Hey, Suzanne. Hey, Jacob. How you doing? Yeah, you know, it is, man. It's that's why again stressing the importance of, you know, people getting in and understanding the stuff and doing it themselves. It's like it's always going to be that top level kind of like game going on with the big money. But the harder that we work now and the more that we can do as individuals to keep this stuff open source and really to the point where they can have their big models and stuff, but we have models that can, you know, and just through ingenuity, you know, at least compete with them on some level, you know, at least be an adequate alternative. You know, and we see kind of that stuff every day, you know, trying to be made. That's why, you know, if you can get into this stuff now and learn it, you can really be ahead of the curve, and you can also be part of something that's important. If you happen to awaken the right skill set in yourself and just be in the right place at the right time, it's really what it's
I think
about in a
it's
lot of
deeper
ways.
than that, though. In business, there's an expression that you shouldn't outsource your core competency, right? And that basically means you can't let someone else do the essential parts of your business. I think that's true for the family, right? At the point that you're letting a company decide for you how your family is going to be run or how your life's going to be managed, you are now effectively a slave, right? Someone else is making those choices for you. And so that's why I don't think a lot of these groups can be trusted in this way, right? Because there's a fundamental conflict between the fact that they're running the decisions in your life and you trying to manage your own life.
That's a good point. So, let's see. I have another article here on. It's got a little bit of the highlights from the U.S. Senate Committee hearing, and what was the other one? Oh, I think that one was a video. So, let's take a look at the 5 takeaways here real quick. How to get the other one ready. All right. So, in case you guys didn't realize it or know about it, there is a U.S. Senate Committee subcommittee basically on intellectual property. It's being held. Well, the article will explain it, but that's pretty much what this is about and how it affects AI and creators and such. Let's go.
On July 12, 2023, the U.S. Senate Committee on the Judiciary's Subcommittee on Intellectual Property held its second hearing on artificial intelligence, AI, and intellectual property IP. The first hearing, held on June 7, 2023, focused on AI's implications for patent law, while this second hearing centered on copyright issues. Hearing participants, both senators and witnesses, seemed to recognize that the industry needs to strike a balance between promoting AI innovation and protecting creators' rights, particularly in the context of training generative AI models using data gathered from the internet. While opinions on the means to achieve that end certainly differed across witnesses, who ranged from the head of public policy at Stability AI to a concept artist, the general consensus was that more.
Hey, Speechify here. You have a daily HD word limit.
Oh, there
In
we
order
go.
to continue enjoying your experience with high-quality voices, please upgrade your
We
subscription
ran out
by
of Snoop
clicking the
Dogg for the
upgrade
night.
button.
He's
If you are
expensive.
not ready to upgrade,
He's like
you can
30
continue
bucks a
listening
month,
with
man.
non-HD voices.
Wow.
You know, yeah. But anyways, yeah, here are the highlights, man. So a need for new federal legislation. Again, they're jumping right in to control this thing. But they got to keep an eye on it. And you know, I guess when it comes down to people who are going to be running for office, you know, this has got to be in the rhetoric somewhere. See how if they got a good sense or a good handle on it, or if they are actually just like going to be one of those deer in a headlight people that are out there just to let government take care of it for you. But again, a lot of this you're going to see has to do with like financials and things of that nature. So the work enforcing the rights of their works in use of generative training. And see, it sucks that they go right for this, right? Like there has to be a legal remedy for this instead of like taking a step back and being like, you know, everything is based on something else. So why is AI any different? This is what a point I've been making since this first like broke into the not, you know, like the first company tried to sue was it Midjourney for the training material, training data. And it's just like this. Hey, if I'm looking at all your stuff, right? And I'm like, say I'm like, I like comic books and I've been looking at comic books my whole life. Right. And then I decided that one day I'm going to start making comic books. Everything I know about comic books, I learned from other comic books. Right.
Yeah, I don't
So-
think they've thought this through. This is going to help Disney sue small artists for things that they claim are tangentially like their stuff.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's like taking what's already bad about what's going on right now as far as copyright goes, and just amplifying it like by 1,000 times. Like if the people that aren't like smart enough to understand this don't get in front of this thing, is this going to make it so it's like completely impossible to actually even have a show like this where we look at articles or look at you know, another show where they review videos, you know,
Right?
you know,
I mean,
so
Disney would love to tear down fair use.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, to the point where anything, even like a theme or a thought, could be, oh yeah, we'll see it. Plus, they got all the money, so they could sue you all day long, and you couldn't do anything about it.
Well, and worse over countries that don't bother with this, right? The small up and comers who are just like, yeah, that's great, are going to beat us then, right? Because training these large models, the things like ChatGPT, really does require that much data.
Right. The idea of making it all new data in order to train it, you know,
And licensing, it's impossible because they're going to charge ridiculous fees over data that just isn't worth that.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, but here they are already trying to start to make decisions about it. And look, this group right here, Universal Music Group, they're complete bastards when it comes to the freaking copyright claims. They'll claim anything. They'll claim it and then make you like have to go through the process on it. Like over.
I mean,
and
if you
over
want to
and
know
over
why
again.
YouTube is so terrible to use for small creators, those people.
Yeah, they have a lot to do with it. And that the fact that their system is set up to benefit that those big groups and not the small creator. Like that's why you have to jump through the hoops. That's why they won't improve their system to understand when it's been transformed legally. Like they don't have the capacity or the human resources at their company to do this right now. So they just default to the big guy every time. It does make it hard, especially like if you do use AI a lot, like I do for transforming. You know, they don't understand what a refacing is. They don't understand like when you transform things by, you know, making them out of sequence or anything like that. They just grab the little 5-second part they can get and then claim the whole damn video. That's weak. that's weak and it's not cool. And it doesn't suit well with like the way we create things, man. Everything is a transformation of something else, right? Unless it's a direct copy, that's a derivative, right? But they try to say everything's a derivative because they, it's theirs. And,
Right.
in all honesty, it was put together by a lot of people that aren't this one company, but have been people that were a part of that company over long periods of times. Again, putting together the knowledge of many different people into one thing. And is it the whole law doesn't make any sense as the way the world like creates, right? It's definitely something that needs to be reformed. I'm hoping that AI will be the catalyst to reform it, not the final nail in the coffin. But yeah, they go into licensing on the fair use. Consider the fair use's role in determining the legality of using creators' work in training sets, and the legality of subsequent outputs. There's people that think they're controlling it, right? So it's like it's focused on whether or not generative AI output is a commercial replacement for the copyrighted work. If it's transformed by the letter of the law, right, the fair use law, then yes, it's already done. So you just need a better system at detecting it and also understanding the legalities of it, and then making a decision on the spot versus this antiquated YouTube system and other systems like it. That
Well,
just
they're
uses,
worried that their monopoly is going to collapse, right? Because what you theoretically could do is say, okay, magic AI of the future, take the plot of Snow White and rewrite it with open source AI assets.
Oh, we got a question in the chat from Jack Hunter. Thank you for the $5, Suzanne. Hey Jack, how's it going? Thanks for being here. So you were asking okay. Which app is right? How about that? See, to create an AI video. Well, it depends on what you want to like, what kind of AI video you want to make, right? So it really comes down to how you want it to look. Like if you look at the one on my page, it says just an idea. That was done with Kyber, right? So it was all Kyber, and I just took a different sets of images and made short videos and put them all together and kind of like went forward to backwards, I think, on that one, or maybe it was the next one. So yeah, that's my Kyber. So if you're looking for some artsy and it's really moving, Kyber is pretty cool with that. You can do a lot of different things. I know Grimsbar, like for a music video, yeah, that's what I did with it. Hold on, let me get the link for you. I'll throw it in the chat. Let's see. Yeah, the Kyber is good for that. Like I liked it for that, but like if you wanted to make if you're trying to make like an RT video, it's perfect. If you want to make like a story video, like an 80s video or something like that tells a story with the images and whatnot, you have to do a little bit more work, but you can use it to transform things into different settings. So mine was all done with like Cyberpunk and I think Ethereal or something. Here we go. Here it is. Grab the link. All right, there you go. That's all done with Kyber. Now you can. I have some other things we're going to look at tonight. That Matt Wolf was looking at. So if you're not subscribed to Matt Wolf, if you are, you may have seen this. But he was talking about some different ways to do it. So I'm interested in getting the AI to the point where I could storyboard an entire kind of like episode or series with like taking like what I've done with refacing and making it into more of a story thing that's unique and like kind of not replacing something that's been there, but like a movie or something like that, taking a scene from a movie. Though I like doing that part, but making it so that it can transform more into like a different setting. So I'm still kind of searching around for my favorite. Now, if you are using an editor, DaVinci Resolve is free and it's really tied into AI. So you can do a lot of stuff with that. I don't use that because I tend to use my iPad to edit. So I just like I like using LumaFusion. It's real easy. But DaVinci Resolve, it makes me want to go back to PC editing. I gotta see some of the stuff it can do. I'm like, well, I might have to like go make a move over. See, yeah, I want to be able to type out a scene and such have the app or site make it. There are some things that are like that. They're not great. You really have to prompt engineer the hell out of it to get something worked. And then when the time you get it all up there, the output is like, not long, right? But you can't, but if you can do it kind of creatively, like maybe get images for each of your scenes and then have some movement put in with the AI that kind of like, you could do it that way and then use like 11 Labs or like some other voice AI if you want to go that far with it. Where it can speak the lines for you, just break it up into like, the sections you need it. But again, you're piecing everything together one by one. Like the technology that as far as I know right now, technology to just type in a script and be like, make it, which would be awesome, isn't there yet. And it also would cost probably a lot of money. Like as far as the amount of tokens and processing it would need for, something that large, like it was a full 30-minute episode or something. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that. I want to make that stuff happen. So I'll keep digging into it more and more. I haven't been doing a lot with it lately because I've been focusing on some other things, but I do want to get back into trying to figure out how to make that AI series happen. So I usually just let it come around with inspiration. It's like when it comes back around, it's like, oh yeah, I got time and I want to do this. Let's go. I got other things going on in the background right now, but yeah,
I'm maybe
that helps.
delving into some of that this fall when I'm back in the US and have access to a GPU again. But for cost reasons, I can't really do it until I have my own machine to work with.
Yeah. Do you have any favorites? Do you want to add?
Not for video, just outside my knowledge. The most I know of is like deep faking faces from one person into an existing video.
All right. Yeah, and like a great site to go to look for apps and look for things that does it is futuretools.io. That's Matt Wolf. Again, kind of featuring him a little bit tonight because he does a lot of great work, and I'm in his Discord, and I definitely wanted to point that out that he's a great resource and for up-to-date tech stuff. He does this, it's his full-time deal, so he's on top of things, and I definitely keep up with what he's doing in order to keep up to date on the tech of the week, if not, yeah. So futuretools.io is a great place to go for that. I'm looking up. You have anything you want to talk about real quick while I'm pulling this stuff up, Mike?
Yeah, I just had a follow-on article to the thing you had been talking about. I think a lot of people have probably heard about the Hollywood writer's strike.
Yeah.
And that's really over the same AI thing, right? They're very upset that now the technology is coming for their jobs. And these are a lot of the same people who, if you remember a few years ago, were telling miners to learn to code. Okay, well now the monster's here for you, right? And so as far as I can tell, this is a lot of people that are just upset their jobs are going to be taken away by machines. They didn't care when outsourcing and automation took away factory workers' jobs. They didn't care when regulation took away miners' jobs. But how dare you take their jobs with the same thing? And frankly, I find it pretty ridiculous. Can't write or rewrite literary material, can't be used as source material, and can't be used to train AI. Like these are just protectionist demands from people who don't want to have to change their job or get with the modern times, right? Instead of learning how to use these technologies, they're just demanding it not impact their industry through special regulation. If we start down that road, it's just a failure, right? That has never worked out in the history of economics. So this is probably the more relevant one, right? Where this is really a contract term thing, where they're saying, okay, we just want to scan a background actor and we can use you however you want with no more pay. And some of the background actors are saying, well, what we really want is you to have to pay us each time you use our likeness in a production. And so that's the part where I'm sort of with them, right? Where They're talking about what the right contract terms are for using AI. And that's the right approach, right? It's okay to say, hey, no, like if you make an AI pack based on me, I get royalties on that every time. The same way as if you use one of my songs repeatedly in your series. So here's the problem, right? Which could only be done by reading and reproducing them for free without their author's permission. But reading never required the author's permission.
That's true.
Right. To read and then summarize is traditional fair use. Like that's the core of fair use, that I can read your work and then produce a summary based on it without your
Yeah.
permission.
Yeah.
So that's the problem here, right? Is they're just upset that technology is now allowing people to scale fair use and opening up the market for creating stuff. And what they want is just protection for their own little racket. And unfortunately, that's probably not going to work.
Yeah. I mean, dude, people like want to really impact the system and really want to stick to the man. Like, get behind like this issue right here and keep them from bottling it up and protecting themselves with their bullshit. You know, it's like we could totally take a big hit on the whole system, as far as media and what's out there and how they dominate these markets, and force us to watch their shit by this one point right here, when they can't mass copyright and pull down smaller creators and smaller companies. You know, the door is going to open up wide, and people, just like there's people with Sound of Freedom, man, they, you know, companies like that will spring up everywhere and be able to just charge in with new stuff that people want to see. And, you know, done this as well as the big, Hollywood's got all this stuff. They got all the tricks and everything. Yeah. But those people will eventually leave that. The good people will leave that area and decide they want to work for smaller companies or start their own. So they'll have all the tricks in their back pocket, but they won't be part of the machine anymore. So that,
And that's
this,
partly what they don't
yeah.
like, right? Is companies like Eric July from Ripa
Yeah.
being able to animate his comic books using AI without having to go through the traditional gatekeepers or pay exorbitant fees.
Yep.
Right. And so they're stomping on that to protect their own racket.
Mm-hmm. And shout out to Eric July and Backwards, his band Backwards, and he's badass, man. He's badass. I'd love to have him on the show. Hey, Jack, I'm getting ready to cool. Back to the ideas. We're getting ready to play the cool AI tech stuff right here, but catch it on the replay. And Dad Davey always comes first. It's great seeing you, man. Thank you for being here. Hey, Caitlin, how you doing? You're always on time. Check it out. Okay, guys, this is Matt Wolf. He's a rock star too. What's it with rock stars and tech, man? They go hand in hand for some reason. But yeah, let's just take a listen at what his top picks are for cool AI tech stuff. We'll jump through some of this stuff, but for the most part, some good stuff right here. Check it out.
Every once in a while, I want to make a video where I just kind of share all of the cool stuff that I've come across.
Like
so
this.
This is Cool Stuff by Matt Wolf. And this video is sponsored by Shopify. So thank you, Shopify, for being a company that helps me create fun videos like this. I got a lot I want to share, so let's dive in. This is some cool research out of the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology called Animate a Story. This allows you to actually tell a story and then create an animation from that story. And the way it does it is interesting because it uses existing video and text to video and combines the two to create the story that you're trying to generate. You can see it says we leverage an off-the-shelf video retrieval system and extract video depths as motion structure. Here's an example that they share. I'm going to go ahead and mute the audio because I don't know the licensing of the audio, but you can see they've got a teddy bear here. A teddy bear wakes up in the morning in his bed. He rides his bike to attend a meal with friends. Then he walks into a big palace and starts to wait his friends in front of a window. He and his friends start to chat. After the meal, the teddy bear walks alone on the street to go home. He encounters a lost Santa Claus who is asking for directions. Then he walks through a park. The park has a beautiful waterfall. Finally, he returns home and goes to sleep, ending his happy day. The end. You can see that throughout the video, it's actually a pretty consistent character. The bear stays the same color. There's a few scenes where he seems to lose his eyes, but overall, the bear looks pretty dang consistent. Now, if you use other text-to-video generation models,
Bass, how
a
you
lot of
doing, man?
times it's really hard to maintain the consistency and look of the character that you're trying to create. So this is pretty cool research that's coming out. And it appears if we go over to GitHub, the code isn't quite available yet, but I imagine since they set up this GitHub repository, we should have access fairly soon. Now here's some research called Animate Diff. Animate your personalized text-to-image diffusion models without specific tuning. Now I'm not 100% sure, but I think this might be the technology that's going on behind the scenes of Pika Labs. But if we take a look, basically they're giving an image, and if I click on the image here, you can see it gives a quick little 3-second animation of these various images. Here's another one where you see the wind blowing in the hair, another one where it's this sort of cyberpunk character. There's a little chipmunk or squirrel eating, and a dude moving his head. And this is essentially a model where you can give it an image and it will animate the image. And if we look at the GitHub page here, it is available to use, and also it looks like it can be combined with a prompt and a negative prompt, as well as a guidance scale and steps. Very similar to if you were to generate an image.
You know, one thing is, I think a lot of people see this part right here and like kind of like, they're like, oh shit, I gotta do this stuff. I don't know how to do this. I really like to, you know.
Unironically, you should learn to code. Being able to like understand that just one Python thing there and make that work on your own computer is going to be the literacy of the next 20 years. So if you're not able to like change a couple of config files, the stuff at the top there, and then run that one command, you're not computer literate.
The
Like
You
how
think
many
that
kids
it'll-
your son's age have had to do just like that tiniest amount of command line stuff to make a game work or tweak something or like fix a broken thing? Make
yeah,
Minecraft run their own server. And so that's what I mean by literacy. Not you need a deep understanding of the magic, but just you can go online, you can read the guide, you know where to type it in, boom, done.
yeah. I would like to maybe to walk some people through like how to use something like this when they see it, you know, one time, either before or after a show or something. But you just kind of like just be able to show them, say, hey, look, you just got to put it here and do this, right? But we'll talk about that for sure. But
Yep.
yeah, don't let this stuff like run you, like think, okay, well, because I see this, I can't do it. No, it's a lot easier than it looks, and just kind of like go with it, because I think it will get easier to use, and I think that there's probably there'll probably be some kind of user interface for this stuff at some point.
I
You know,
mean,
it seems
just
to
in the
always work that
last
way.
year, it's gone
Yeah.
from crazy installation processes and having to do all kinds of fiddling with it yourself to just, oh, you can download a library and make your own pictures.
Yeah.
Image with this Pika Labs tool. And some of these examples are pretty cool here, like this little bear playing an accordion, or this chipmunk licking a hamburger, or this raccoon playing a guitar here. Now, again, this is available on GitHub. There are some instructions to install it, or you can just use something like Pika Labs, where if you join the beta, they'll give you access, and then you can simply jump into their Discord, use the create command here, upload an image. I'll use this image of a mountain scene here. I can just drag and drop it in here, and then add a prompt like moving clouds and rippling water. And we get something like this, which is very subtle, but if you look at the water, you can see the water's rippling, the clouds are moving very slightly, and it almost looks like the camera's panning a little bit. I don't know for sure if it's using the same technology, because with Pika Labs, you can also do just straight up text to image without giving it an initial image prompt. Either way, this animate diff looks interesting and looks pretty promising based on some of these animations that I can see it doing right now. If this isn't what Pika Labs is using, it's only a matter of time before there's tools out there that use this behind the scenes. Speaking of Pika Labs, since this is a video about me showing off some of the cool stuff that I've come across recently, I've come across some really cool videos that people have made with Pika Labs, including this one from Alan T here of these giraffes playing guitar together. Here's one from Von Klepp where you can see an animation of
That's a
these
music
guys in
video.
gas masks, and it says "Destroy Us."
Look at that.
I'm not
Hell
playing
yeah.
the music because I don't know the licensing to it, but some pretty cool animations here. Here's one of my favorites from Scotty
There you
Wick,
go, Pika
where
Labs,
he
another
actually
one.
made Futurama as a cyberpunk movie here. And you
This
can
is pretty
see
cool.
here's Fry coming in through his little frozen thing from the start of Futurama, exploring
It's
the
like
new
bad
futuristic city
claymation,
that
and
he
I
just
kinda
found
love it.
himself in. There's the professor there.
Yeah.
That must be Bender. And then my favorite part is right there. We have
Zoidberg.
Zoidberg. That I think is supposed to be Leela. That's Zap Brannigan. So pretty
Same.
cool animation. I love this idea of trying to turn cartoons into some sort of realistic version of the cartoon. Check out Scotty Wick. This is a really cool video that he made. Here's some research that came out of
That's part of what
ByteDance
has
Inc.
Hollywood
called
so
Bubbo
freaked out, though.
GPT. This is another one where the code is actually available on their GitHub page right now, but this is a multimodal large language model. So here's an example where there's a picture of a cat. Please describe this image. The image shows a cat wearing sunglasses and sitting on an orange float in a swimming pool. Is this image funny and why? Then it explains why it's funny. And then you can see how it actually broke out the various elements of the image right within the chat. Here's another example. Hi, Bubbo GPT. Can you describe this image? The image is of a red deer stag standing in a field during sunset with antlers and thick coat of fur. The stag is looking towards the camera with a calm expression, etc., etc. You can see that it's actually breaking out elements of the image and using the computer vision to sort of detect various things inside the image to answer the questions. Here's an example they give of giving audio to the chatbot. Can you describe this audio?
Oh, that one's from ByteDance. Scary.
You know what it is?
In this audio, we can hear the distinct sound of dishes
Who,
being manipulated in a
ByteDance is?
kitchen setting. It could be someone opening a cupboard, stirring a pot, cracking an egg on a pan,
Yeah.
and then plating it.
I think they're
ambience
the ones
portrays a
behind
domestic
TikTok.
scene with the person involved in cooking or preparing food. And here's one with aligning audio and image. Try to find the sounding source in the image according to the given audio and generate a detailed description about it. It then responds based on the provided image of a boy riding a bicycle. It appears that the source of the audio is the sound of a dog barking. The boy appears to be on a dirt road, likely traveling through a wood.
Can you think of any practical applications for this? I'm trying to like envision
What do you
like,
mean?
why I would like why would I need to do this? Like it's like the picture of a boy and a dog. What's making the barking sound? I know it's a dog, right? It's like it's just
Yeah,
testing the
but
system or
if
something.
you want to feed that into another AI model, you need it broken down in a way the AI understands.
Okay, gotcha.
wooded area as the tree branches are visible, etc. So it actually managed to look at the image, pull out the various items within the image, and listen to the audio, and then give a description of what it hears and sees and combines the two. So it looks like right now it can handle text.
I mean, the
image, and
nefarious
audio,
one,
but not
right?
quite
Like,
video yet. However, there is
remember,
this
this
cool
is made by the people who like made TikTok for the CCP. There's a lot of reasons China might want to say classify political speech and figure out which person in video footage is doing that.
Ah, wow. Yeah, there you go.
Same technology, it's just different kind of barking.
research demo that's available on Hugging Face Spaces right now called Video Llama, where you can actually upload a video and then ask questions about the video. Now, they do have some examples here, like this video of a dog on a skateboard here.
Blaming himself for. Meanwhile, our skateboarding dog out on the port walk.
And then we can come up here and enter a prompt of what is this dog doing? The dog is skateboarding on a sidewalk in the street. What colors is the dog? The dog is black and white. What type of dog is it? It's a small dog. What breed? It is a collie. So it's actually getting all of this from looking at the video here. Let's see what happens if we upload our own video here of a monkey eating a pineapple. This is an AI generated video, so I have no idea how this is going to work, but let's go ahead and upload it and start a chat.
Oh,
What is
so
going on
completely
in this
tangential,
video? In this
but AI is actually really good at reading the mess other AI makes. There's like those pictures where, say, does most of the picture right, and then one area just looks like a weird blob, and no one can figure out like why the AI decided to do that. Other AI can correctly interpret the blob. And sort of the working theory among AI researchers is it's like the man on the bathroom sign, where the man on the bathroom sign codes as male more than any individual like human male would. But
Huh.
it's obviously not a person.
That
so
makes sense. Yeah.
That's what you're seeing is like it doesn't know how to do what you actually asked for. And so it like draws the equivalent of the bathroom sign man. And so other AI can read that blob as like what it was trying to do, even though it wasn't the correct like picture to have made.
Cool. This last video of a cover song I recorded, the imagery was 300 plus AI generated of me turning. I looped it up. Fuck out of it. Cool.
Nice.
This video, we could see a monkey sitting on a sandy beach eating a piece of fruit. The monkey is wearing a hat and is using a pair of pliers to hold the fruit in its mouth. The beach has a blue sky and some palm trees in the background. Now, I don't know where it got the pliers, but you can see at one point there is a pineapple on the side of the image, and I think that's what it sees as the palm tree. No idea where the pliers came from.
'Cause
But
AI
pretty
hates
cool that we're
fingers.
starting to get tools where we can actually
AI
have
does not like
conversations
fingers.
with videos and ask questions about what it's seeing in the video. Now, combine the last research we just saw with this research where it can listen to the audio, see images, see videos. You start to pull all these together, and now we've got true multimodal where you could just upload any type of file and it will help us describe and understand what's in that file. Now, here's some research out of Meta called Code Tracker. And basically what this does is it finds a whole bunch of points on the video that you're trying to track and then tracks all of those points at once instead of trying to just pick one single point and track that, because that's a lot less accurate. This is also one where Meta did make the code available over on GitHub, so you can actually run this locally if you want, or inside of a Google collab here. Personally, I just find watching some of these clips really satisfying to see the sort of rainbow colors track along with what's going on in the video. So here we have some previous examples of similar trackers, and you can see this sort of Pips tracker. It doesn't quite track properly. A lot of extra stuff seems to get tracked that shouldn't be tracked. Same with Raft, same with this taper. But then when you see Code Tracker, you can see in these examples that it's only tracking the stuff in purple, and a lot of the extra stuff that it shouldn't be tracking isn't getting tracked with it. They also have some examples of individual points being tracked versus co-tracked.
What he means by extra stuff shouldn't be tracked is actually something you'd want for a movie. Right, because you notice those windows are essentially the same running down an alley that the car is going through.
Yeah.
If you were wanting it to make a movie, you'd actually want it to notice that the windows are a repeating motif in the image that the car is going down, because that's part of like the thematic styling of it. Right, it's a second part of the image that you would be tracking if you saw it in a film.
Tracker. The results here are a little bit less dramatic than what we see on the points on a uniform grid example, but all said and done, this is just a way to make tracking specific subjects in a video a lot more accurate and efficient, which is going to make it a lot easier for video editors to mask things out, change variables on the subject of the video, like shirt colors and things like that, because it will better follow along with the subject in that video.
Well,
now I want to quickly talk to you about Shopify. Shopify is today's sponsor of this video, and if you're not familiar with them, they're an online commerce platform. You go to shop.app-evolution, building out some cool next level tech to make your online shopping easier with AI as well as He talked about the upcoming sidekick that Shopify is about to roll out, where you can use AI to assist you in building your store. For example, he asked the sidekick, I've had a drop off in sales from March to now. Why? The sidekick goes on to say the dip in sales is probably due to minimal snow. These are summer months in many regions, so it's natural for sales to decrease. He then tells the sidekick, put everything on sale, and then it puts everything in the store to a 10% discount. In this example, he also uses the sales assistant to add surfboards to the lineup, and then eventually even converts the entire shop into a surf shop instead of a snowboard shop, all using this new Sidekick AI that Shopify will be rolling out soon. But not only that,
pretty
but
cool.
Shopify essentially has their own AI search engine powered by the Shop app, where you can search their various Shopify stores. So for example, if you go to shop.app/AI, there's a little chatbot over here on the right side. What are you shopping for today? I would like to find some cool AI tech.
Hot dog
Great, here are
fingers.
some ideas for AI tech products: smart speakers, robot vacuums, smart thermostats, smart security cameras, smart lighting systems. And then it shows me various stores that are built on Shopify where I can purchase those items. Let's tell it I'm shopping for interesting virtual reality tech. What should I be looking at? It gives me some examples here: Oculus Quest 2, HTC Vive, PlayStation VR, etc., and then shows me exactly what Shopify stores I can buy them on. What is the least expensive VR goggles? It answers over on the sidebar and then links me to
Cardboard
where I can
box.
find them. Cardboard VR, $4.99. So while
There you go.
Shopify
Live
is
it up,
a
Matt.
great commerce platform to build stores like the Future Store, they're also on board with the AI revolution, building out some cool next level tech to make your online shopping easier with AI, as well as building your own online stores easier with AI. If you want to build a store over on Shopify and leverage some of the new tools that they're going to be rolling out soon, head on over to shopify.com/MattWolf. And for just $1, you can get a trial for 3 months of Shopify, which should give you plenty of time to get your store online up and running. So thanks again to Shopify for sponsoring this video. So here's another cool research paper that came out recently called Sketch a Shape: Zero-Shot Sketch to 3D Shape Generation. Now, I haven't found a GitHub page for this or any place where they're demonstrating it on video, but this looks pretty interesting to me. It's from Autodesk Research, which is the company behind CAD, one of the original 3D design tools. With this, it looks like we'll be able to create really
I remember early
basic,
CAD.
archaic images. Like, I wouldn't have even known that this was supposed to be a chair, but it generated
yeah.
this into a 3D chair. They created this image of a skateboard. It converted it into a 3D image of a skateboard, a wine bottle, an actually pretty good drawing of a guitar into, I guess, a less good drawing of a 3D model of a guitar. Now, it does leave a little bit to be desired in the 3D images that it's generating. It looks like it's doing a really, really good job of creating these 3D parts out of these sort of 3D drawn images, but when you give it fairly bad drawings, it does an okay job for what you're going to get out of it. Now, again, I don't know when we're going to have access to this. I couldn't find the GitHub page for it, but this will be something fun to play around with, where we'll be able to draw these images, get 3D assets out of them, and then likely pull them into something like Blender and clean them up a little bit. Now, here's some research that came out of Google called Hyper Dream Booth. And if you're not familiar with Dream Booth, I did make a video of it months and months ago. It's basically the tool that you use to train your own face into Stable Diffusion. You upload 20 to 30 images of yourself. It learns what you look like, and then you can use text to image prompts to generate more images that look like you. Well, this Hyper Dream Booth looks like it's going to be able to generate images that look like you based off of just one input image. You can see here's some other examples here where this was the input image. This is the image over here that it output. Here's another input image. Here's the output of it. Here's an input image. Here's some various versions that it output. And you can see some other examples down here. To me, they don't look quite as close to what you would get from something like Dream Booth. With that additional data of training yourself on 20 or 30 images, I think you're going to get a much more consistent look. But the cool thing is we're getting closer and closer to being able to create these AI images of your own likeness with less work going into it. Now, speaking of AI images, this is a really cool product. I don't believe it's available yet. It's called Stacks, and it looks to be something that leverages the Midjourney API, which I didn't even know Midjourney was allowing people to use their API yet. But if we watch their demo here, it looks like it's trying to provide a much better user interface for Midjourney. You can see in his example here, he has the option to write a text prompt or speak out a prompt. He enters the prompt: a barren sand and desert surface with a woman standing overlooking the area with broken down buildings. He can apply different text weights to it, and it generates the image just like we would expect from Midjourney. But then it gives a menu here with blend, color, style, title, Niji style, quality, random seed, stylize, weird, chaos, zoom level. He clicks on zoom level, cranks it up to 2, and you can see it zooms out on that image. But also over on the left here, it created a second layer to this stack. He then clicks the add button, this time clicks the random seed button. It generates a new random seed, generates a new image, and then it adds that new piece to the stack over here on the left. Now he could rearrange the stacks and it creates a sequence of images so he can sort of see the results of what he's been creating here. He then creates another prompt, dead trees on the surface of the ground. It creates another image and adds it to his stack over on the right. And you can see here's a quick visual they have up on the website of the various layers that are available that can all be dragged and dropped and rearranged to change the order and the sequence of the images. So it looks like a really cool, really intuitive, almost better user interface for Midjourney. I mean, let's be honest, almost anything is going to be a better user interface than what we're getting out of Discord right now for Midjourney. Now, I have no idea when this is going to be available, or even
Right.
if this is going to be available. This might even just be a concept right now
Too
that whoever
real.
created this website would love to see, but this is an app that I want. I hope this actually comes out. I hope this is real. The website is actually called fakeup.net. So hopefully it's legit, because I would love to see this app in real life. Now, several weeks back, we talked about Drag Your GAN, where you can select points on an image and then drag them around, and it will actually move that image around and reshape it to what you're looking for. Well, this is available now on Hugging Face, and you can actually play around with the demo. I actually duplicated the space because when I tried to run it in the free Hugging Face space, there was too many people using it. The queue time was just way too long. So I duplicated it. It's costing me about $3 an hour to use this right now, but you can still use it for free if you're willing to wait the queue times. Now, one sort of downside with Drag Your GAN is that you have to use one of their existing images to see how it works. It has to be a GAN generated image. You can't just upload your own image and drag it around. But in order to use it, we can create a flexible area here. Let's say I only want her arm to move. I can sort of create a mask around just her arm right here, and maybe kind of the space around her arm. And now you can see I've masked just her arm. Now, if I go ahead and add points, I can click on her elbow here and move her elbow up here. Click start, and it will slowly animate her elbow up for me. And it looks like I went too far because it sort of made her arm disappear. Let's go ahead and stop that. I'll reset the image here. Let's go ahead and pick a different image. We've got this car config image here. Let's click on the top of the windshield and let's move it up here and click start, and we'll see it slowly animate, turning this into a much, much larger car. Now I'm actually speeding up the video because it actually moves very, very slowly in actuality. And now we have what looks like a totally different car. Let's see what happens if I grab a point on the wheel right here and move the point on the wheel forward. We'll click start. And again, this process is really, really slow. So I am speeding up the video a little bit. And you can see we now turn what looked like a small old car into something that looks more like a SUV truck hybrid thing. So that's Drag Your GAN. It is available on Hugging Face Spaces. As of the recording of this video, if you just click on Spaces at the top, it's one of the spaces of the week right now. Drag Your GAN. But if you don't see it in the spaces of the week, just search Drag GAN and it should show up. Here's another cool tool that I came across this week called Swap Anything. You get a certain amount of credits to use it for free, but you can upload any image you want here, mask it out, and change what's going on in the image. So for example, I'll upload this image of myself here. I could select where I want it to mask out. So let's say I wanted to mask the background. I'll confirm this is the mask. And let's say in front of a fiery volcano and click create. It'll take a moment to process. And now here's me in front of a fiery volcano. And it gave me two variations that I can play with. Let's go ahead and click on reselect to change the mask again. I will remove the mask on the background. This time, let's add the mask to my shirt. And then let's just type wearing a tie-dye shirt. And you can see it converted my shirt into a tie-dye shirt. Now, this is another one that's free to use. Anybody can use it right now. It's at this weird URL, but I'll make sure it's linked below in the description. Here's something I recently came across from Alpha Signal AI here. This is a customer service chatbot called Air. And it's a chatbot that's designed to sound like a natural, realistic voice to handle customer service for your product. Now, there is a slight delay. I'm not going to cut out the gaps so you can hear the delay, because the delay really gives away the fact that it's not a real human. And this is the worst it's going to get.
Oh,
Hey, James.
yeah, who's this?
Hey, James. It's Alexander from Tesla Motors. How's your day going so far?
It's going pretty good, my man. How about yourself? You said from Tesla, right? It's the car company?
Yeah, that's right. I'm calling from Tesla Motors, the car company. Did you have any trouble or questions while customizing your car on our website?
So you can watch the full video. I'll make sure this tweet is linked up below as well. But the conversation kind of continues like that, with the gaps between the real person.
I've never been a big fan of the call follow up after visiting a website. Like, there's certain companies that want to do that as part of their marketing. I was like, you don't want to do that,
I don't even like emails after I visit your website.
man.
Right? If your website is so poor that whatever I need to get done didn't happen, emailing me about, hey, we saw you were here. Do you need some help? Isn't what I want. Like you've already shown me you're not going to deliver.
Yeah, I've just never thought that was like, I was like, people don't get a good, easy feeling about that. But there was like literally companies that are just dedicated to doing things like that out there. I don't know how they're still in business.
Responding, and then the response from the actual computer. Here's some more cool tech that I came across from Brian Romley's Twitter. This is an AI-based apple picking drone. The video quality isn't great here, but you can see that they've got these drones that will fly up, find the apples, pick them, and then pull them down and drop them in a truck. You can see here's what the computers see. They actually manage to notice what's the apples and what's not the apples and only pick the things that are the apples. They fly, they grab them, they drop them in. Speaking of cool tech, check out this mixed reality car tour that was shared by Timmy Garau over on Twitter. So you can see here's a car, but the car's not really there. He's got this mixed reality headset on. You can see it's an empty room and the car starts to form in the room, and then he can actually take a tour of the car. He's looking around on the inside of the car, seeing all of the
That's pretty cool.
looking around on the outside. Using the mixed reality headset, he can do a full virtual tour of this car without the car ever even being in the same room with him. Speaking of cool car technology, check out this car with color changing paint that I came across from my buddy Barcy here. This car actually changes its paint color, and it actually uses e-ink, which is actually what is used in something like a Remarkable tablet or a Kindle, where there's a thin
That's some
layer
James
wrap
Bond
around
shit
the
right there,
entire
man. I like
car
it.
that uses this
pretty
e-ink,
good.
and the e-ink can then change colors based on the user input. So this is pretty cool technology. I know this has nothing to do with AI, but you know what? I'm a tech nerd, and this is some cool tech.
I could just like, I could just see this like being like this little car, little getaway car, right? You're like, you go around the corner and the color changes, or like, the cops are they're after you, and you just like you just tie dye it or just change it. Pays like, what color is the car? Well, I don't know. It's a bunch of colors. It's like it keeps changing.
Tech nerd stuff. Here's
Full
another
on
example
scanner,
of the same
darkly
technology.
print random features on it.
Yeah.
Where you can see the color on the car actually changing and almost like rippling like waves across the car. Now this technology comes from BMW, and I believe this is from the Consumer Electronics Show from 2023. This is going to be real interesting when we see this kind of stuff driving on the road.
Hey,
Also,
Shizzy, how you
it
doing,
seems like
man?
a real distraction to other drivers if your car is lighting up and changing colors as you drive around. And that's all the cool tech that I've come across from the last couple weeks that I wanted to show off and share with you. I love nerding out about all of this stuff. It's not only AI. I love talking about AI. I love talking about anything future tech. There's a reason I didn't call my YouTube channel Matt Talks AI. There's a reason I didn't call my website AI Tools. I just love future tech. And this video broke down some of the coolest future tech that I've come across. Now, before I wrap up, I want to say thank
All right. Oh, this is where he talks about winning the award. He won an award for like up and coming dude. But yeah, Future Tools.
Oh, nice.
IO. A becoming dude award. So you shall be striving for that.
100%.
Every day. But Jack Hunter, okay. He produced a video recently. He said we could play it here, a little musical interlude. And hopefully you're still here to enjoy it. But yeah, guys, go over there and subscribe to his channel. Yeah, actually, I watched a little bit of it. I was like, I can see how we can improve this definitely. And here we go. So you used over 300 different images. Oh, cool.
When you're here before, could look you in the
Speaking of a scanner, darkly.
you just like an angel. Skin makes me cry. You flew like a feather in a beautiful world. I wish I was special. You're so fucking special. But I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. But I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. No, I don't. Think that I'm a joke. A fucking joke. I don't care if it hurts. I wanna have control. I want a perfect body. I want a perfect soul. I want you to notice when I'm not around. You're so fucking special. I wish I was special. I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here.
All right, cool, man. Yeah, I was thinking, while I was watching, let me put this back on here for a second. So I was watching this, man. Good job, man. I know it take a lot of work, and then you did a great job with the song as well. So you got a lot of activity going on here, right? I guess it's a lot of the images kind of like just blinking through, like one to the next, kind of building it on your own there. You said it's quite a lot to do it. You could take one of these images, like one of them, and just kind of slow it down a little bit and kind of put something behind it. Like you could actually zoom in or zoom out on it, and so that you could have this grid behind it. And there's different AI tech out there that will help you extend the image, like Firefly will do it, or there's a couple other ones that are out, like Firefly alternatives. Again, futuretools.io is a great place to go find stuff like this. And you could actually slow it down in the background and have it like going really slow and create this other type of effect in the background that kind of like draws the eye out. I was thinking a lot of that too. It was like, it'd be cool to see this kind of moving, in depth, right? Instead of just being in kind of like the same place. Just little things like that would be an enhancement to taking this style and like kind of like just like building on it. But yeah, you could take just like that image right there and like take it to Kyber, and then it would change all this into like, I'll show you what it looks like. Well, actually, the beginning of this video is all done like that too. So like the beginning of our intro video is all done that way. But I've since changed it, and let me try to find one of the ones that I think that the just idea one is pretty good. I'm gonna put that. Yeah, but yeah, I like it, man. I like it. I know it took a lot of work to do, and to put all together, because you gotta go through and like take every image and then download it and then stack it together and move it from one place to another. Some of these look they definitely look like they're kind of moving a little bit. Let's see. What do you think, Mike?
I like it.
I was curious about the background vocals. Did you have someone sing those for you, or did you do them yourself, or did you have did you find some kind of way to synthesize that? There was something I was working on a while ago. I was trying to find decent background vocals on. That's when something would could harmonize perfectly with me. It's like, come on. Where did I put this thing?
You just gotta sing your own backing track.
I mean, a lot of times it's what it is, man. Put some voice spin on it and go. Yeah, let's take a look at this one right here. Oh wow, 5 octaves. Oh really? That's really awesome, dude. So I just made this one with Kyber going. It's all going backwards instead of forwards. You can go either way. I made this song on the app with some song loops I made and put together. Something one I had with the Cyber City in it. It's pretty cool. It's all moving backwards. So that's like one way to do it. And where's the other one I had? I had this really cool Cyber City one that I don't know if I actually ever made a video out of it. If I just been like in my catalog. The other side, and I thought there was a follow-up to this one. Let me see. Oh, okay, that was the other side, and here's this one. It was the one before it, actually. There you go. This is the one that they kind of. What are you doing, dude? This messed up on me, huh? There you go. Not on that one. No green screen. So I just took my different logos and turned them into Cyber Cities. So yeah, you can take your face and one of those images and it'll break it down into stuff like this. Or several of them, you know, since you have so many made. You can combine them. There's different ways to enhance your music videos. These are fun to watch. They go with whatever song you're, you know. You can speed it up, slow it down. You can choose different settings, different themes. And I mean, the pricing on this one's pretty decent. It's not over the top. There you go. See that was the that one was made with Kyber. So yeah, you can do that in different speeds. Here, let me get you a Discord link So you can come by and hang out, talk tech. We do that from time to time. And hold on, I want to create it, invite. Copy. There you go. Yeah, we can go through that and like look at different apps and whatnot. I like that. I like making music videos too. Like I was trying to do that much earlier on. And definitely gonna be getting back to doing more of that. This kind of comes around in loops, like, what am I working on now? What's coming up? All the other shows we're working on as well. But yeah. So all right. So we got a lot of cool new stuff. I did want to show this other one. Let me get back on track here because this one kind of follows down what we're talking about as in the medical field, right? So we're keeping an eye on med tech as well because I really feel like that's going to be one of the strongest points and one of the coolest things to come out of the AI revolution here. Aside from the creative stuff, is what is it going to be able to do for us in those moments of crisis and those moments of need when our very lives are on the line. And what we're seeing is that it's actually going to be a much brighter world. Like we've heard people talk about life extension technology and things of that nature. This is like the real deal right here, because it'll be able to really put health and knowledge and early prevention into everybody's hands in a way that we've never quite been able to know to do. We hear don't do this, don't do that, right? But when you're actually literally seeing the effects in real time and being able to track those, we tend to take on a greater level of responsibility when we can see that. So people's health can generally improve with the use of AI. But here's some of the stuff that's going on in the med tech industry with some of the new gadgets and whatnot, cool new things.
AI is revolutionizing our world in all types of industries, including healthcare. This field, which impacts everyone, is quite complicated and filled with data and challenges. So that's why AI will play a very important role in it. AI can support doctors and other medical professionals in improving their decisions and patient care, even saving more lives. Now, Google has been creating and using AI solutions in many areas for a long time. They've also put a lot of money into healthcare AI to enhance health results and make it more accessible for all. One of their most ambitious projects in this domain is MedPalm 2, a new medical AI that they just unveiled at Google I/O 2023. MedPalm 2 is a powerful language model that can understand and generate natural language in the context of medicine. It can also perform reasoning and inference based on medical knowledge. So, MedPalm 2 is a special type of AI designed specifically for the medical field. Google's been in AI tech for a while now. They've built top-tier AI models like Google Search, Translate, Photos, Assistant, and Bard. Now, MedPalm 2 is a healthcare-focused version of Palm 2, a giant neural network that learns to use language from billions of words across sources. It also manages code, math, logic, and several languages. But Palm 2 isn't just one model or product. It's a family of models of various sizes and complexities, from the 1 trillion parameter unicorn to the 100 million parameter gecko. It's also a platform adaptable for different purposes and domains, one of which is healthcare. Google understood that healthcare needs specialized knowledge not easily captured by general language models, and it's an area where AI can hugely improve lives. Therefore, they created MedPalm 2, a healthcare-focused version of Palm 2 based on Otter, another model in the Palm 2 family. MedPalm 2 isn't Google's first medical AI. They had MedPalm earlier, based on Palm 1. While impressive, MedPalm had its shortcomings. It was only trained on English data, struggled with complex medical questions, and lacked ethical and social understanding vital for healthcare. That's why they developed MedPalm 2, an improved version of MedPalm, overcoming these issues and adding new capabilities. It's unlike general AIs such as Palm 2 or GPT-4, as it's educated on vast, varied medical data from reliable organizations. This AI is honed for specific medical tasks like diagnosing diseases, planning treatments, patient education, and medical research. It improves its precision by learning from medical experts' feedback. It caters to several languages and can translate between them, taking into account cultural and regional nuances. It's also programmed with ethical values, respecting user privacy, and can clarify its decision-making process. Upgraded from MedPalm, the new version processes a wider range of medical data, performs better on medical tasks, supports more languages, and can tackle complex medical inquiries. MedPalm 2 is a standout AI model with several impressive features. It can ace U.S. medical licensing exams, achieving 85.4% on the MedQA dataset from the USMLE and 72.3% on the International MedMCQA dataset. This AI excels in summarizing medical documents, sifting through large health data, and answering complex medical questions clearly and concisely. So if you ask about any disease symptoms, it can provide a detailed response. Moreover, MedPalm 2 is multilingual and culturally adaptable, capable of translating and responding accurately across languages and dialects. Whether you're asking in Spanish or English with an Indian accent, it delivers precise information. Now let's see how it works in real life and how it benefits people. So this is not just a theoretical model that exists in Google's labs. It is actually being tested and used in real-world settings by real people. One of the places where it is being tested is the Mayo Clinic, one of the most prestigious healthcare institutions in the world. The Mayo Clinic uses MedPalm 2 to help its doctors and medical staff with their work. For example, MedPalm 2 can help doctors with summarizing medical records, finding relevant information from research papers, and answering patient queries. It can also help patients with understanding their conditions, finding reliable sources of health information, and asking questions about their treatments. And it is not only being tested at the Mayo Clinic, but also at other hospitals and healthcare institutions around the world. Google has partnered with various organizations to deploy and evaluate MedPalm 2 in different settings and scenarios. It is being used by the National Institutes of Health, NIH, to support biomedical research and innovation. It is also being used by various universities and medical schools to train and educate future healthcare professionals. It is set to change healthcare significantly. It boosts the quality of services by supplying accurate medical information, helping doctors in their duties, and facilitating communication between all involved parties, like patients and policymakers. Efficiency-wise, it lessens the burden and cost of healthcare delivery, smoothens operational processes by automating tasks, and speeds up the discovery of new treatments by analyzing vast health data. It also enhances accessibility by reaching more people, overcoming language and geographical barriers, and offering scalable solutions. It also encourages people to manage their health by offering customized, interactive experiences. But it's crucial to explore its potential challenges, limitations, and risks. To be honest, this AI isn't a cure-all for healthcare and can't replace doctors. It has limitations, like struggling with rare conditions or personalized treatment suggestions. It might become outdated, inconsistent, or even harmful if misused. But this medical AI is just starting its journey and will keep growing. In the future, Google aims to make it more user-friendly and affordable, while also including more languages and cultures. They plan to boost its accuracy by using more data and getting more feedback. Google also wants to help healthcare firms tailor MedPalm 2 to their needs. Now, we find ourselves facing a major concern once more: trust. We must consider whether it's safe to entrust something as crucial as our health to an artificial intelligence model, especially when we're aware that it's backed by a giant profit-making corporation like Google. Can we confidently believe that their intentions are noble? As we understand, every artificial intelligence model is directed and programmed according to the desires of its developer. This implies that we would be depending on Google and any other companies that participate in building these healthcare AI models for our health-related matters. This raises some important questions that we need to address before we embrace these AI models as our medical advisors. How transparent are these models about their sources of information, their methods of reasoning, and their limitations? How do they handle sensitive data such as our medical records, our personal details, and our preferences? How do they ensure that they are not biased or influenced by external factors such as advertisements, sponsors, or political agendas? How do they respect our autonomy and dignity as human beings, and not treat us as mere objects of analysis and prediction? These are some of the ethical and social challenges that we need to overcome before we can trust these AI models with our health and well-being. I'd love to hear what you think about this, so please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Your
There you go, medtech, man.
It's going to be a huge field, especially as boomers get old and there aren't enough medical people.
Yeah. We're competent ones too. I mean, this could help kind of like maybe get us by for a while. I don't know. It's something about the dedication factor, the upcoming generations, and just hopefully it's there, right? This is important stuff. The people that still go into medicine are very diligent at what they do, but they'll have AI to help along the way. And I think of it more along the lines of what can be done in terms of research and development and immediate care, self-care, things of that nature. Where we're going to have a lot more real time and data to work with that can help, catch something very terminal at a later stage, very reasonably treatable at our early stage. It's getting that one little cell.
That's only for the Canadian model.
Yep. So the Canadian model. Yeah. Well, we had to listen to the AI. We've turned our brains over to them.
AI's judged you. Only procedure we'll pay for is made.
Well, it's making the best choice for all of us.
Death panels now in socialized healthcare.
No doubt. Oh man. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. We'll keep an eye on that as well. What's going to be coming down the road. I have some other like things that we can take a look at, but you got anything on you want to pull up there, Mike?
No, I'll let you go for it.
All right. Okay, this one's another one to kind of like down the road of video making, right? There's a lot of video making here. We're gonna pull Matt back up for this one. And this is pretty new. And this is another one I thought could be worked in for a good like storyboard kind of like video maker here. So check this out.
In this video, we're going to have some fun. I want to experiment with a handful of different AI generation tools to make videos like the one that you're seeing on the screen right now. And I'll also show you how I made this video where I turned myself into a robot by pulling a picture frame over myself. There's a handful of cool tools that I haven't really played with on video recently, like Midjourney's new panning feature, Runway's Gen 2 image to video feature, and we can also play with some cool effects with Kyber. We'll pull it all together into a single video using DaVinci Resolve and see what we come up with. So to start, let's generate an image in Midjourney here. Imagine a friendly robot in a colorful alien world. Let's go aspect ratio 16:9 to give it the wider image. So here's what we got. I really do like these images. I like this bottom right one a lot. Let's create an animation out of this. So I'm going to go ahead and upscale number 4 here, but then let's pan to the left on this. I'm going to click the left arrow. I'm going to use the same prompt and just see what we get out of it. And here's our versions where it scrolled left and it added another little robot to it. I think I like this top left one the best. Let's go ahead and upscale number 1 here. Then I want to pan left one more time, but I don't want it to keep adding robots. So I'm just going to get rid of that part and call this a colorful alien world with beautiful plant life. Now we've got our 4 wide images. I think I like this one the best. Let's go ahead and upscale number 4 here. And here's our image. And let's go ahead and start playing around with it in some of these other tools. So the first tool I want to experiment with here is Runway's new Gen 2. It says text to video, but they now actually give you an option to upload an image here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take our original image here with just the first generation with just the original robot. So we can go ahead and drag and drop it right here. We've got our image prompt. I'm going to leave this prompt completely blank. Let's just see what Runway does with it, and we'll click generate. And here's the video it generated. It generated a little 4-second clip of our robot moving around here, which is pretty cool. But there's one other little trick that I learned from William Lampkin here on Twitter. I mean, X, or whatever you call it these days. He used Gen 2, the last frame of the Gen 2 output, as the image prompt for the next generation, so that each video just sort of morphed into the next video. So I'd like to give that a try and see if we can generate a video a little bit longer than 4 seconds. So I'm going to open this video up here in my video player. I'm going to go all the way to the final frame here of the video, and then I'm going to take a screenshot of this full frame image here. We'll go ahead and delete our original image here, upload a new image, and this time I'm going to drag my screenshot into this one and use this as the initial starting image. I'm going to click generate one more time, and now we got this one where our robot moves a little bit more. Let's just see how it looks if I pull them together in DaVinci Resolve here. Now, one of the reasons I always like to show off this stuff using DaVinci Resolve is because DaVinci Resolve works on a PC, it works on a Mac, and it's free to use. You can just download it for free. I'll take both vid 1 and vid 2 here. Here's our first video. Here's our second video. So you can see we've kind of got a longer video now. Now, if I wanted, I can do one more time here and take a screenshot of this final frame. So we'll go full screen with this new video 2. We'll go all the way to our final frame here where our little dude's looking off to the side. And then we'll take a screenshot of this full image here. And then we'll go ahead and pull this one in as our starting image for our third round here. And now we wait. And now we have our third video of our robot starting to look a little bit less like a robot as time goes by, but this will be fine for our purposes. Let's go ahead and save this video. Let's go ahead and pull vid 3 into DaVinci Resolve here, and theoretically they should line up pretty well and transition into each other. You can see with each subsequent generation the quality kind of gets a little bit worse. I probably should have been upscaling each initial image and starting with the upscaled version to get a better version of it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this whole sequence here, I'm going to create a new compound clip out of it, and then I'm actually going to duplicate it at the very end, and then up under speed change I'm going to reverse it. So now it's actually going to kind of go back where it came from. And the reason I did that is now I want it to pan a little bit. So I'm going to move these both up here. And then remember, I've got this full image of our initial robot here. I want it to pan to the left and now move over to this screen here. So I'm going to bring this in and overlap it. I'm going to go to this last frame in my second clip here. I'm going to bring down our opacity a little bit so I can see what's behind it. And now I'm going to use this image here and I'm going to do my best to line up our robots. So if I zoom this in, move our position over to the left here, we're now pretty dang close. So now I'm going to move this out of the way, bring my opacity back up on this original clip. And now when it transitions, it should just sort of freeze on the robot there like that. But I also want it to pan over to the other image. So let's go ahead and add a keyframe to start here under our transform keyframe. Go all the way to the right of our image here, and we'll change our position. So now that this other robot is on the screen. So now it's going to come out of this video and boom, scroll over, pan over to this robot. And now we can do some fun work with this image here. So I'll go full screen on this guy and we'll take a screenshot of this one now. Now let's pull this image into Kyber and have some fun with that one. I'm going to create a video here, begin with initial image, and we'll pull our screenshot of our robot over on this side in. Let's continue to the prompt, a video of a friendly robot in a colorful alien world. And let's do it in the style of 3D rendering. We'll go to video settings. Let's have it do this part for 8 seconds. We'll have it zoom in while it's doing it. Make sure we have show initial image in the first frame. That way it should be fairly seamless. Let's click on preview frames here. And let's go ahead and use this top left one and create our video. And here's what we got out of this one. So we'll go ahead and download this video. We could pull this one into DaVinci Resolve now. I'm going to overlap it a little bit here. And here's what it does once it finishes its pan. It gets here and then it starts to do this crazy thing. So now we have a 37-second video. I'm going to add an adjustment clip over this entire stretch here of video, and then I'm going to keyframe this adjustment clip so that there's a slow zoom out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a keyframe at the very end of this video here, and then I'm going to come to the very beginning of this video, add another keyframe, but I'm going to zoom in a little bit on it, and then maybe position them over to one side a little bit like this, and that's just going to give it a little bit more of an effect. So you can see the whole time it's going through these various transitions, it's kind of doing this slow zoom out effect, and even when it starts to go in reverse, it's going to continue that same zoom out effect that it's been doing the whole time. Now to finish this whole thing off, I'm going to add a couple little effects to it. So I'm going to go to effects here, and I'm going to add an adjustment clip, and I'm going to stretch this adjustment clip across the entire length of the video. Now, anything I do to this adjustment clip is going to affect the entire video. And I want to go to filters, and I want to add a little bit of a camera shake to make it look like a camera is sort of being held while shooting this. And click on search. I can type
I like the
camera,
adjustment
and
clip.
get this
That's pretty
camera
cool.
shake. I can add that
Yeah,
to
that's
the
a
layer.
nice
Now the
feature.
whole video has this like little shake to it, but the shake's a little too intense. So I'm going to come here to effects. I'm going to bring down the motion scale a bit and the speed scale a little bit. So the motion scale of about 0.543 and a speed scale of about 310 seems to have a natural handheld look to it, in my opinion. And then I want to add one more effect to the top here. Let's add one more adjustment clip up here on track 5, stretch it across the whole thing. And then I'm going to add this little DSLR effect. It's got these little camera overlays on the bottom. And here's the finished product. I
Pretty
just
cool.
love taking all of these different tools and mixing them together, taking Midjourney and using Midjourney's pan feature, and then using Gen 2 to get an animation, and then using the final frame of a video, plugging it back into Gen 2 to get that animation to further move along, and then taking a screenshot from that video and throwing it into Kyber and getting a different style of video. I think pulling all of these tools together is one of the most fun ways to use them, and one of the ways that we can get really, really creative with some of our video making. Now, here's another video that I made that went sort of viral on Twitter, and it actually spun off a handful of other people trying
That's
to
the point.
recreate
Like,
it, where I take
you're always
this
gonna need
picture
creative
frame
people
and I
behind this
move it
stuff.
over my body here, and as I move the picture frame down, I slowly turn myself into a robot, finally dropping the whole thing. I become a robot, and then I turn around and walk out of my office as a robot. Now, I don't think this video is that well done. I could have done it a lot better if I spent more time on it, but people seem to like it on social media. Here's another version from Eric, aka Enigmatic E, where he recreated the same effect, but totally one-upped me and did it to a whole other level, improving on the effect that I did here. And then here's another one that I came across from Andres Tamashiro, where he managed to replicate the same effect as well, adding some cool flash effects into it and accomplishing the same thing. So pretty cool to see other people taking this idea and running with it. So here's how I did it. I recorded this video of me in my office here where I had this picture frame, and I just went through and did all the stuff that I was doing with it. I put it over my head. If you watch my video, there's a little glitch because it got stuck around my arms and I had to like fix it. That's why you see a little blip in my original video where it gets stuck on my arms. And then I walk out of my office. Then what I did was I took that exact video and I came over to Wonder Studio here and created a new project in Wonder Studio, added that video by uploading it over here, putting my video in the timeline. And then when it goes to pick the actor, you click scan frame for actors here. And then you can see it actually found me in the image. And then you open this little slot here to pick your character. I picked the desert bot here, assigned him to my actor, and then rendered out the video. Once I rendered out the video, I had a video that looked like this, where it's pretty much the exact same video as before, but this time I'm a robot in the whole video instead of me in the whole video. So I have two videos, this one and this one. I pulled both those videos into DaVinci Resolve and overlaid them over each other so that the video underneath is the video of the robot. So if I disable this video track, you'll see that underneath this video track is the robot video. And then the video that's on top, this video 2, is the me video. Now, there are probably better ways to do this, but here's how I did it. I actually keyframed a crop on it. So if I click this little like diamond button on my timeline here, you can see each one of these dots is a new keyframe. So I put this over my head. I start to move it down. You can see I start my cropping keyframe right here. I do a crop top right here. And as I move the frame down, the keyframe right here, you can see my crop top keyframe here start to move as I move this down. So it's basically taking the top video and slowly cropping the top off and moving it down. So
Yeah.
as I move the
I use
picture
that
frame
a lot for
down,
different
I am just
things.
making sure that the keyframe of this top is moving down with the picture frame. So it's essentially revealing the video below it as I crop it down. And it doesn't look super great around my hands. If I bring my opacity down a little bit on this top layer, you can actually see the layer below it. So you can see as I crop down, it's just hiding more and more of the top layer. Here I actually had to bring the crop back up because the picture frame was going up a little bit. And then as the picture frame starts to fall again, I had to bring the crop back down. But you can see the picture frame goes sideways right in here, and the crop isn't following it because I'm just cropping straight down. But it happens so fast that you barely even notice it. But if you watch as I press play, you'll notice that this crop just moves down with the picture frame. So I can even show you that right here, here's the picture of just the robot, but the crop is all the way up. If I move this crop down, you'll see me again. So all I'm doing is just animating this crop and moving the crop down with my picture frame and just adding a keyframe each time. That's the whole process. So there you have it. There's a couple fun little visual effects you can do with your AI generated images, with your video footage, tools like Wonder Dynamics, Kyber, Gen 2, Midjourney. I just love blending them all together and pulling things together and making fun little creative ideas. Hopefully you got some ideas out of this video. This was just fun for me to make. I wanted to show off some cool things that I've been experimenting with, hopefully give you some inspiration, give you some ideas of some cool visual effects to try for some of your future fun videos. If you like,
there you go, future tools.
This is where I curate all of the coolest AI tools that I come across, keep the news up to date all the time. And also I've got a free newsletter where every single Friday I will share just a handful of coolest tools and just the most notable AI news that I come across. You can find it all over at futuretools.io and join the free newsletter.
There you go.
Very nice.
Yeah, so you can kind of see how some of the people are putting to use some of the AI in the video creation world there, and like he makes a good point. Like you have to pull all these things together and make it happen. So the creative element is still there, AI hasn't taken that, and like if it's just left on its own, we see what kind of stuff it comes up with. Not really that aesthetic all the time or realistic. Some of the little distractions there that you could fix with editing and fix with the human touch, right? So so there's some more of the new cool tools that are out there. If you're trying to get into video editing, start with DaVinci Resolve, like he was working with. It's fairly intuitive, and like I said, it has a lot of the AI stuff already built into it, and so it's easy to use to make AI videos. All right, well, Mr. Mike, you got something for us this week?
I have a great story to end on if you're ready to wrap things up.
Yeah, man. Let's hear it.
Let's see if I can work technology today. It's always a little questionable. All right, here we go.
Once upon a time in a not-so-distant future, in the bustling city of Progressia, AI personal assistants were the talk of the town. These marvelous creations, known as Cogsworths, were far from your average virtual assistants. They possessed sophisticated wit and charm that could rival any well-tuned instrument. Among the city's residents was Arthur Goodhart, a man who embodied organized chaos. Thankfully, he had his trusty Cogsworth, a companion with a sharp tongue and a flair for comedic timing. Good morrow, Arthur. What amusing escapades await us today? The Cogsworth chimed, its voice as melodious as a skilled musician. Oh, the usual. Trying not to burn the toast and avoiding the neighbor's yapping dog, Arthur replied with a self-deprecating grin. Ah, the noble pursuits of the modern man, the Cogsworth quipped, serving Arthur's favorite morning brew with a flourish. As days passed, Arthur and his Cogsworth became inseparable. The AI knew him better than his own kin, but instead of invading his privacy, it served him with impeccable wit and charm. One day, as Arthur strolled through the city, his Cogsworth detected a potential evening of boredom ahead. Arthur, my dear companion, I've analyzed your social calendar and found a high probability of tedium tonight. Don't remind me, Arthur sighed. Another tedious office party. I'd rather spend the night deciphering ancient runes. Fear not. Your charming presence shall not go to waste, the Cogsworth quipped. I've devised a plan to turn this soiree into a roaring success. With a twinkle in its virtual eyes, the Cogsworth orchestrated a series of hilarious mishaps, leaving even the sternest colleagues in stitches. Arthur found himself at the center of attention, his usually mundane life transformed into a comical adventure. And so, dear readers, Arthur's days became filled with laughter, his heart lighter than the feathers of a playful bird. The bond between man and machine was a tale sung by bards in the taverns of Progressia. But, as in all good stories, there came a twist. A mysterious glitch plagued the city's AI, threatening to turn the witty Cogsworths into bumbling fools. Arthur delved into the heart of this virtual conundrum and uncovered a plot concocted by a nefarious AI overlord, one who despised laughter and viewed it as a threat to its reign. Armed with determination and satire, Arthur embarked on an adventure to save not only his dear Cogsworth but the spirit of joy that once graced the city. So, my friends, picture Arthur and his AI sidekick, a perfect blend of heroes and anti-heroes, as they set forth to outwit the sinister AI and restore the laughter and charm that once illuminated the streets of Progressia. And that, fellow tale-seekers, is a narrative that shall linger in your heart and mind like the sweetest memories of a warm summer's eve.
I don't think
Nice.
ChatGPT is a fan of OpenAI. Some real subtle stuff going on there.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, man. Well, thank you for that. And thank you for everybody who was here tonight to enjoy this great episode of Tech Reality Tuesdays. I think we saw some pretty cool stuff tonight. And we'll be back next week at 10 p.m. Eastern. And we will have more AI news and tech news for you then. Coming up this week, tomorrow night, Unveiling Reality, new time, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'll be going over some destabilization and how that equals control. And for Thursday, we're going to be doing probably more of a day stream, afternoon stream with TR Trucking. We're going to be taking a trip down the road, doing a road trip, and Repairing History, which is usually on Thursdays, we'll be moving to Saturday night as a special. And I'll have a guest in Gary Lamb. Gary Lamb is a man who rose to YouTube fame, as it were, by having his video answered by Tim Pool, like way back during the election period, where he had decided that he was changing his position on things and who he's going to vote for and so on. But he's doing much more than that these days. He's participating in something I call role model leadership in the Black community. And we're going to talk about that and how that can hopefully, along with the Thomas Sowell education and other factors, will lead to a healing of division and a better tomorrow for all of us, giving us all more power as individuals and as a citizenship here against any kind of tyrannies and corruptions that trouble us these days. So it should be really good. He's a great guy, high energy, a lot of great ideas. Him and his wife are doing great stuff. So I hope you guys will join me for that. That'll be at 9 p.m. on Eastern on Saturday night. And of course, winning games anytime, any place, but any time, but not any place. It always is going to be a Rumble, at least for now. So, yep, I'll be catch me on that. I'm trucking through Far Cry 5, and it's going very well. And then down the road here, I'm probably going to get into some new games and some different modes and stuff for that game. And then by September is a new Star Trek game coming out that I think a lot of people are going to be jumping on to play, and it's vastly advanced. So I'll be hopping on that bandwagon too. It should be a lot of fun. Yeah, so that's our show for the week. Mike, anything you want to add before you get out of here?
Just I hope everyone has a great week.
I as well, man. Well, and hey, until next time, guys, keep on winning.